EQ, right? This is low range, this is high range, and then up and down volume, right? So the human ear has sort of roughly that. It's really rough, but roughly that, with that being in the mid-range, as where it's most sensitive to hearing, which is why it sounds nice when we do something like that, right? So if you make the V, right, the bits that are, it's why that sounds balanced, right? Most headphones aim for that. They'll potentially do yeah, color tuning, white's really helpful. They'll potentially do like a little bit extra with the bass, and then like roll off the top end, so that way it's like less shrill. But otherwise, that's the traditional V shape. It's just you scoop the mids out, and that makes it sound fuller, because there's more bass, there's more treble. Technically, headphones will scoop the mids. What I'm doing here is lowering them. What I'm doing here is I'm lowering them a little bit, right? So if this is our flat, oh goodness, now what? No, if, oh yeah. So like it walks upstairs just so you can still be loud. So what headphones will do is they'll do this, right? So they'll scoop all the mids out, right? What I'm doing is boosting these ends, right? And then I have it lowered a little bit, and then it comes back up, right? And technically, because it's a little amp, according to the amp, what I'm actually doing is that. But you know, the tiny little speaker, so it actually just sounds like that because the little speaker isn't capable of doing as much bass as you want it to. So it's not important. Everybody's like, oh, you gotta have gigantic 12-inch speaker. The only time gigantic 12-inch speakers sound really good is when everybody else that you're playing with has equipment that's able to work with that, or when you're playing by yourself, right? So basically every single person that you see that has a 4x12 doesn't play with other instruments. They just play by themselves in their room, because you don't need that. Because anytime you go to a gig that has or that's going to need that much power, they mic the amp, so there's no point. It doesn't need to be that big, and then the rest of the time it's just convenient.